Okay, my love, we are going to be busting some myths today around manifesting your soulmate and your divine union, because I have seen in the space over the last few years so many manifest quick, like get rich quick schemes, but for manifesting your person that are actually really unhealthy and unsupportive. And I've seen some really toxic programs playing out that are keeping women stuck in loops that are not good for them. So I want to help you skip some of that and just jump into the deep, real, raw truth of how to do this and what it takes and what is going to actually create a long-lasting, sustainable divine union. Okay, so myth number one, and this is the thing I have seen the most often that actually gets me really angry, is the manifesting of your specific person, where people are teaching spells or rituals or even intertwining quantum realm and like the quantum physics piece of connecting to that person, doing it from the ego instead of the heart and soul. And there's a lot of manifesting that is done from ego and greed and actual pain-based wounding instead of doing it through the divine. I want to tell you right now that there is a powerful creator who already knows who you're meant for, but it might look absolutely different than what your ego is telling you right now. And the mental constructs you have created based on your childhood and your upbringing and all the past pain and wounding that you have. So I can't even tell you the number of times I've seen women chasing after people who are really unhealthy, who are not kind or loving or supportive in any way, but they feel so strongly like, oh, this is my person, or I can change him, or he's not actually that bad, or the connection and the chemistry is so strong that I can't imagine anything better, or I don't know what I'd do without him. All these stories come from a deep program of pain and wounding, and they come from a program of looking externally to this person to fix you and solve you and make you feel whole or complete, or vice versa, for you to be the savior who is now fixing or saving or making them whole and complete, right? And that is not the template for the new earth. That's not what we're moving into. That's very much the programming that has played out in past generations that, I'm just going to say it, it has to go because we've seen so many unhealthy relationships in the past generations that are not built on a foundation of unconditional love, and they are not built on a connection to the divine creator, okay? As long as people are outsourcing and looking externally for anything, doesn't even have to be just a relationship, but for money or validation or a new credibility, right? If we're looking outside of ourselves for something to make us finally feel worthy, that's coming from pain. That's coming from an illusion that you are not already enough. It's coming from a disconnect from your divine self. So I want you to know right now that who you are is perfect and beautiful and worthy and incredible, and you don't need to look outside of yourself to find that. The other thing we see with the past programming with relationships is a lot of the savior and the martyr and the unhealthy power dynamics, right? And this is something that we can be unconsciously plugged into without even realizing it. So sometimes this can be like if you saw a parent struggling, and as the child you felt this responsibility to help shift their mood or make them happy, or now you're walking on eggshells and you need to be perfect because you don't want to add to the stress on their plate. that can create an almost kind of savior complex, where as you get older now, you have this illusion that it's your role to save the other person. This will create constant attraction of people who need saving, and you trying to run in as the hero. But that's not a healthy, long-lasting, or sustainable relationship, right? That's not actually true love. That's not a divine partnership. In my experience and my understanding, the divine unions are so balanced and so harmonious, and we're operating from divine masculine and divine feminine architecture and characteristics. So we're not coming from the wounding, we're not coming from the lower masculine that's more of the ego and like not being able to hold space or respect the feminine and the emotions and the things that she might need, being harsh and cold and closed off from the heart. Lower feminine energies of being judgy, blaming, shaming, guilting, like those are not the things that you want to build your relationship on. And if you are following the manifestation techniques that so many gurus and so-called gurus out there are saying, oh, use this tactic because it'll manifest your specific person really fast. Ooh, do this thing and they'll call you in the next 24 hours, right? You are then giving into someone who maybe isn't even for you or isn't healthy, and you are possibly operating from that lack or that desperation, that fear of being alone, the clinginess to that person who might not even be meant for you. And so the work that I do and what I'm so passionate about is manifesting from God. I talk about it all the time inside different courses of mine, of the difference between manifesting from ego and manifesting from God. Because ego is so focused on specific things, but typically because it wants to feel better or validated, or like, now I'm finally enough, now I'm finally successful, now I'm finally worthy, right? There's some kind of attachment to it that gives the ego the food or the fuel that it needs. But when you're manifesting from God, it's pure, and the attachment isn't there. It's not a desperate need for something. It's more just an embodied knowing of like, I desire a really beautiful, remarkable love story, and I believe I'm worthy of it. And I'm going to call in whoever that may be, knowing that God actually knows better than my ego. My ego could be influenced by so much past programming, so many of the wounded templates from childhood, from the mother and father that I just shared, or the lower masculine and feminine. It could be operating from that clinginess, that desperation, that dopamine hit. And if you are using manifestation tactics like the ones I just shared, you could end up manifesting a really unhealthy relationship with someone who wasn't meant for you. So I see a lot of women who end up in these cycles where they're like, but I thought he was the one, and I thought this was my person. And they end up depleted and absolutely like in so much pain because they were chasing after someone who was never meant for them and who never treated them with respect, but their ego had attached for some reason. And then they got these manifestation ideas in their head of manifest your specific person, and they used it towards the person who wasn't actually meant for them. So I believe in opening that up for God to show you, like asking the divine to show you who your person is, to bring them to you, to help shape you into who you need to be the match for them, and to ask God to be shaping them as well. Like, allow us to both be doing the work that is going to bring this union closer and create a healthier, loving union moving forward. Show me who I need to be. Lead me to the places I'm meant to go to so that this can happen, so that this can manifest in a healthy, organic way. The devil works through false promises and fake speed, right? You sell your soul, you can have something very quickly. God works through foundation, through organic processes, which means like tilling the soil, planting the seeds, nurturing it, watching it grow, letting it flourish, creating the space for it to be abundant and to have that harvest and to enjoy the whole process. So the things that you're calling in, although you can still have major quantum leaps by doing it this way with God, you can be blown away. I've seen it for myself and for many clients where a session or two later, they're like, I just met my divine masculine, and like, I can't believe how this came into my life. So it can still happen incredibly fast, but there's no desperation and no attachment and a full-blown openness to receive what the divine creator has for you. Okay? Those are very distinct differences. And when you're doing it that way, you are inviting in the space for the characteristics of like, okay, I actually want to feel these things. I know I don't want to have them treat me this way, and I want to be treated like XYZ instead, right? You can get very clear still on the characteristics and the things you wish for them to embody, but when you release attachment and allow the divine to move in and help orchestrate, it will always be better than you could even imagine, because the ego works in limits and it always has a limited construct around things, whereas the divine is limitless and expansive and infinite potential. So you will always be surprised in the best way possible when you are manifesting through the divine. So I really just want you to let it sink in that there is no rush. There's no need to fear. There's no need to feel like if you don't call them in tomorrow, you're going to run out of time. Whatever is meant for you cannot pass you by. And whatever you were designed for in this lifetime, you're going to experience. So the more you can lean into a place of surrender and trust and be in an open, receptive place, an open, receptive state, then the more you can just allow things to unfold and align the exact way that they're meant to. If you're wanting more support with this and you're wanting to call in divine union, but doing it right and really through a way that you can sustain it and hold it, this is what I teach inside Union, which is one of my quantum healing hypnosis bundles. And it's all about clearing out and releasing the lower templates and the wounded masculine, the wounded feminine, any kind of pain or distortion from your past experiences. Getting that out of your mind, your body, your soul, your life, and programming in, rising up into the divine feminine goddess that you are, embodying those higher level energies. Also integrating a divine masculine energy within you so that when you attract that in an external partner, you can hold it because it feels normal. You feel safe to receive it. It doesn't feel foreign and scary because all you've experienced before is pain, right? One of the biggest things that I've seen, aside from the other thing I just mentioned with the kitties joining, the kind of fake fast manifestation, is that usually those don't actually last because the person hasn't prepared their nervous system to hold it. And so even if they do end up manifesting the right person, they feel so unworthy or thrown off guard, or they don't know how to hold it, they're scared, they start to self-sabotage unconsciously. And this is why it's so important to be able to feel the safety of the divine masculine energy within you, to feel safe to receive that and hold that and be held and cherished by that. Okay? This is all stuff I teach inside Union. The link is in the description down below if you want to check it out and learn more. There are so many really powerful trainings in there, all about helping you shift and manifest your soulmate and your loving union. And as I said, actually be in a way of doing it with God and with the divine creator, as well as in a way that is sustainable. So you can hold it, it can last, you can build your life together and stay in this loving frequency of union moving forward. So the inner creates the outer, and every single shift we make inside ourselves through alignment, every single time we make a shift internally, it ripples out and changes the external reality. So the greatest thing you can do is come into the inner alignment and truly be living from surrender, from flow, from faith, from a place of trusting in God to support you with all of this, and allow yourself to be blown away by how it all shows up. So the link for Union is in the description. I would love to support you in this process and start celebrating your beautiful union experience and your manifestation very soon. I'm sending you so much love, and I will talk to you again soon.